Hi and welcome to the third and final instalment of Hedgehog Hollow's studio tour. We've quite a lot to fit in today. I'm going to show you my desktop and how I have that arranged. I'm going to show you each side of my desk where my drawers are containing my close to hand items, and then I have two large black Alexes either side of my desk that I'll show you how I have some storage in those too. Some are still a work in progress and I'll let you know what my plans are and see if you have any tips that you can share with me for those items. So let's first of all get started with my desktop. So here we are at my desktop and you can see all the things that I keep close at hand. Now this is a new acquisition that you saw me unpack recently. It's called a hobby holster and I'll link it up in the blog post. If you're looking for that, it's in the bottom under the description. You may need to click a little downward arrow to access it. This is designed for your glue gun. However, I popped it next to my desk and found myself popping lots of little bits and pieces in here. So I keep my paper snips, my ribbon scissors, my favourite tweezers that you often see me use, and whatever adhesive I need on hand for the time, and I keep it upside down so it's ready to go. This time I was using glossy accents, but sometimes I pop my Tombow or all sorts of bits and pieces in there, and I found this really handy. It's silicone so it grips, and I mean this is pretty weighty and it's still staying there. It also has some inch and centimetre markers on, which are handy when I have a piece of paper and I just want to check the dimensions. So I also keep my paper trimmer here. I use the cutter peen, which I've linked up for you before, and I will link up again. And then I keep this fridge bin. So in this fridge bin is all the stamps that I would like to use in my next blog posts. This is the things that I have received, but I haven't yet got round to using. So I keep these close to hand. If I can, I put them in here and they're in manufacturer order. If I'm particularly working with a card or I'm waiting to film, then I tend to put them here at the back, and some of the larger ones fit nicely at the back too. I also keep a few of my basics dies just on hand so I can decide what size I want things to be. This pile is things I've received but I haven't got round to labelling up yet, so I put them in here, and when I've got a few of them round about now, I'll grab my labeler and all my envelopes, and then I can just get going in here as well. I also keep my planner close to hand. I love this planner. It was personalised for me in this rose gold, and I'll link up where this is from as well for you. I keep my Q-tip holder because I use them all the time. I've just secured a little magnet that I bought from Apex Magnets here with a glue dot to the bottom of my iMac stand, and then I have a pin close to hand for enamel or something that might get gunked up, or sometimes you just need a pin to release something or open it. I have my phone stand, which is lovely. I've got it in the rose gold to match the pink phone, and you can get them in gold or black or silver depending on what colour you have, and I also got the same coloured cable. This is my coconut, which I store my stamp chamois in. Again, I will link all this up for you so you don't need to be scribbling it down furiously. I keep my light here. I have my water spritzer, my big one, and then I have a few mugs here that I keep full of pens, bone folders, extra snips, paintbrushes, all sorts of bits and pieces, things that I find myself using all the time. And then I have another one of these lovely thimbles that I keep all my variety of scissors in. You know I all love some funky scissors. I have leopard print and zebra and pink stripy. Whenever I find a fun pair, I buy them and they get put in there. Then here to the back at the side, we have all my pre-cut cardstock. So this is the cardstock that we saw in part one that I keep close at hand. So I keep this little tub and I keep quarters. So this is card front size, and I keep a few of my bases in my white and my desert sand. And as I build up my new colours post Stampin' Up, I'll probably pop some of those in there too. And this is a series that I will regularly update so that you can see as things change and any new storage solutions I come up with. In the far corner here, I also have my Vagabond, just close at hand so I can press the button and go, and of course Tilly's baby monitor. So that's it for my desktop. Now let's start on the left side of my desk where I have a stack of the 5 drawer Alexes, and you can see what I keep in there. So the top drawer is a design I've shown you before. This is another one of those fridge containers, and in the top here I keep some alcohol blending solution as it's really handy as a good clean-up tool. Some Stampin' Mist, my Distress Refresher, pen white, sand eraser, Stays On cleaner, and these are all of my acrylic blocks in the back here. These are my commonly used sizes, and I keep some bigger ones right in the back in case I didn't want to use my Misty for any reason. There's some spare blending pieces. There's my Sizzix brush that I keep in here. There's my blending tool, I always keep one to hand. And then I keep all of my black inks at the front here. So I have a variety of black inks from solvent to water-based and some hybrids as well. And this is just in case, or when I'm stamping, the most commonly used colour is black because I want to colour in. And I find that just having that variety on hand saves me a lot of time. I used to keep these in a slimmer fridge tub, but I've kind of outgrown that recently. I also keep a tape measure in the top here. Then next up we have my painting drawer. So in here I keep a nice variety of brushes, another one of my pantry or fridge organisers, and I will link all these up on the blog for you. There's my Gansai tab eyes, there's a little water pot, my favourite little expanding water tub here. I have some other Chinese inks and some inexpensive watercolour tablets. Then we come down to my ribbon drawer. Again, this is something I've shown you before. Mine needs a little bit of a tidy up, but this is an expandable cutlery tray. Again, I'll link it up for you, but it fits perfectly all the Stampin' Up! Ribbon reels and all of my Michaels and big box store ones as well. You may also ask, this is a Spellbinder's magnetic tool. I get this out when I'm crafting, but it's also great just to hold my ribbon up so it doesn't fall over. And finally we have the bottom drawer. Now this does need some organising, and I just need to go out and go online and order some fridge bins for it, some dividers. It has all my barber's brushes, it has my Daubers container, there's blending foam, sponges that I cut up, my Copic airbrush kit. It just needs a bit of general organisation, but the contents work well. There is a bottom drawer that's currently empty, so I have room to expand, but I'm sure that'll get filled very shortly. So now we can move over to the right side and you can see what I keep on the other side close at hand. So this is the right side. In the top drawer you've seen before my adhesives, and I'm still really happy with this solution. This is another one of my favourite fridge bins, and in the top I can keep all my snails and my tape runners. It also slots in nicely that I can fit my post-it and micropore tape in there. I can fit glue dots in here. I have my pink electrical tape, erasers here for the gummy erasers, post-it notes with sticky all over, some pre-cut scotch tape. I also keep in the back my painter's tape, my packaging tape for when I send things out to you. There's my glue gun and my Handmade by Hedgehog hollow stamp. Now I'd like to get another one of these to go in the back. That's definitely on my next order. And in the front here I keep my foam dimensionals and my foam strips just stood up there, which works well. And then I have this drawer. Now I'm happy with the contents, but the organisation still needs some work. So I keep all of my stamp presses. So I'm currently working with the We Are Memory Keepers, my Teflon mats that fit in all of my different presses. And I will link that blog post up as well if you haven't seen it already. There's my Stamp Perfect, there's a stamp scrub, there's all sorts of general tools that I find myself reaching for all the time. It just needs a bit of a better organisation solution, which I'm still working on. Then we have my enamel dots drawer. There's doilies in here, lace doilies. These are all in the Stampin' Up! Containers with my nice pink labels that I told you about previously. I then have this container here which contains twine, washi tape, Stampin' Up! Embellishments, all sorts of things stand up in here really nicely. And this is my twine cutter. Again, I'll link you up with this. This is brilliant. It has a little blade in here and it just really nicely slices the twine, and I don't get too much unravelling or any issues with that. Then back here I have another container that has little grid pieces that I can stand up. My glue's upside down. I keep some crackle accents stood up in here. There's some googly eyes. There's a place for binder clips, more stickles, and then all my pearls and gems are here too. And then at the back I keep all of my twines and my threads. And if I can't see what I want to get, I can just lift this one out and pull this one forward. And that works really nicely. Then the next drawer down is my embossing powder drawer. So I keep all of my Versamark pads here at the front. Normally these would be upside down, but I turn them the right way up just to do this video. I keep my powder tool, my embossing buddy, and my nice little trays, which I'll again link up for you because lots of you have asked for those. I have two fridge bins here full of my embossing powders. This is a little bit random and I'd like to find something better, but I haven't yet found a solution that slots everything in just how I want it. So this works for now, and I can easily just lift these out and have a look what's in there. The bottom drawer was a bit of a dumping ground for all my kind of stationery. There's some earbuds in there, all sorts of bits and pieces. My nice pink cable ties are in here. So it's kind of one of those dumping grounds that again just needs a bit of organisation. So this is it for the right side of my desk. I also keep a command hook just on the inside here, and I've taken the cord for my embossing tool and I've just knotted it so that I can hang it on there, and it's well within reach and it's just off the carpet, so it's not hot when I've been using it. So next up, we're going to move to the right of my desk where there's one of my stacked Alexes, and you can see some more of my storage solutions there. So this is the top of the Alex unit. Now I have 2 of the IKEA Alex units stacked on top of each other, screwed together so that they're nice and sturdy. I did start putting these labels on the front, but they didn't work out so well. This is my Stampin' Up! Cardstock, which I'll link to if you haven't seen it previously. I have big tabs for each of the colour families and then smaller tabs for each of the colours within that in an alphabetical order. I put some little scraps and other types of paper just in the front here. To the right of that, I keep a stamp scrubby. There's some pre-cut card bases for Stampin' Up! All of my acetate pieces stay in here. Just some bits and pieces, card bases, those kinds of things. My ATG gun stays at the back. There's some general stationery. These are all of the envelopes for my stamp and die storage. And this is one of the lights that just stays here all the time. Now we can look inside the drawers. So in this top drawer, this is a really happy drawer to open. I keep micro beads, glitters, distressed glitters, which I keep upside down so I can see what's in them. There's some retired Stampin' Up! Accessories, little pots of glitter, some older washi tapes for holidays, my pixie sticks, which I absolutely love. There's some mica flakes, and also my gelatos are still in here at the moment, just in an old biscuit tin that I keep in here. Then I have my man drawer, as I call it. So this has my calculator for my degree, my staple gun, some washers that I quite often use, some pencils, staplers, just general things that you want to have around the craft room. Then we have my stickles drawer, which some of you have seen before. These are those adjustable cutlery trays that I also keep my ribbon in, and I will get some more for the Nouveau drops you'll see in a moment. This has stickles and distress stickles. Some of the bigger stickles bottles are in here. Enamel accents to die for. There's a few re-inkers. My Adirondack mixatives and alcohol ink, some liquid pearls. It does need a little bit more organisation into sections of distress stickles and stickles, but actually on the whole this is an absolutely awesome solution to this storage. Next up is my adhesives drawer. So this is all my overflow adhesives, some speciality items, lots of snails from when I used to do classes with Stampin' Up!, all sorts of double-sided tapes and foams, some wobblers, ATG refills, glue dot refills, and they're all in these different drawer organisers that I'll link up for you. And you can get the ones that fit your drawers. These fit perfectly in the Alexes. There's some snail refills, there's hinges, there's all sorts of fun stuff in here. Then we have 2 drawers that stick together, but we'll get to that. It's a kind of a miscellaneous drawer, but I know what's in here. So I keep labels and blue tack. There's my old little cutter bugs. There's my chibi lights that I'm dying to start working with. Some older craft mats. Some little post-it notes, so when I'm prepping for videos. Extra refills for my cutter peed. Lots of different types of funky rulers. Shipping tags. Some spare blades for my silhouette, and some enamel pieces that I often like to stamp on for some extra accents. Then we have another lovely drawer down here. This is my flower drawer. So I keep packets from the big box stores here at the front. There's all my magnolia flowers and teardrops and things at the back. And these are all just open packets of flowers. So anything, whether it's magnolia, specialist stores, big box stores, once they're open, I pop them in here so I can get to them whenever I want to. Then we have this drawer. Now this has got one of those lovely sequins storage in. I'll link this up for you because it's been brilliant. What I do is I just label each one on the side here, and these are these are all labelled on the tops here by what brand they are, and if appropriate the type is on the other side. Before I use each one, I clean them out with a dryer sheet just to remove as much static as I can, and that's worked really well too. Now you can leave this in here like this, or you can pop the lid on too. These are all my Nouveau drops, and my plan is to change this around just slightly and get one of the stickles trays you saw me have earlier. This is all of my lovely vinyl. I don't have a huge collection, but what I do have gets kept in here. This is my stencils and templates drawer. So all my stencils keep to the right and all of my templates are kept to the left. There's some of the hot off the press, there's general shapes, there's bags, there's all sorts of things in here. And I just keep them separated like this. This drawer may well end up being my Nouveau Drops drawer, but currently I've got some of my Dr. Phil Martins, my Speedball calligraphy set, and that's about it in there. And finally, we have another one of my colour drawers. So I keep my Prismacolor pencils, my Stampin' Up! Watercolour pencils, and these lovely Crayola boxes. What I did was I scribbled a few of each of the colours onto a piece of black cardstock, and then just put it on with some micropore tape, or you could use some washi tape for a prettier effect. That just tells me what's in there. And I did also put some labels on the other side if I wanted to look at that too. I did the same with these glitter markers, with these neon pencils, some more Prismacolors, some other dry erase, there's Gamsol, there's chameleon pens that I got for Maddie, there's some lovely calligraphy pens, and some other markers that I'd also like to try. So now we can move over to the left side of my desk and you can see where I store all of my ink pads. So this is my other Alex unit, and again it's two of them stacked on top of each other. I keep my Stampin' Up! Turntable at the back here with my refills in the top. And normally the light, and that's the other way around, but we just moved it forward for this video. This is a lucky find I got in Hobby Lobby at 90% off, but it's brilliant. It keeps all of my bigger big shot accessories, some extra cutting pads, magnetic plates are in here, precision plates, and they all just stack in here really nicely and easily accessible. Then we have my drawers. So the top drawer is all of my distress inks, or some of them. We'll get to some more in a moment. But it's a lovely colourful drawer. It's really inspiring when you open it. They all stack in here perfectly. I don't put them right into the back so that I can easily see and get to whatever's there. And if I have more than one of a colour, I just stack them on top of each other. And you can get 3 or 4 high in here. The next drawer down is also distress inks. This is my overflow, and I also keep my distress crayons at the back here. So as I'm expanding my collection, they all keep going into here. Then we have my distress oxides drawer. I've kept this as a drawer all of its own because I'm sure Ranger will expand the collection, and I grabbed another one of those little organisers and I keep my oxide refills in here. They tilt up nicely so I can see them. I could also have them tilted the other way if I wanted them easily accessible, and this would also be great for some stickers if you had a smaller collection, and you could always keep them just easy and ready to use. So I'll link this up as well for you in the blog post. Now, while I've got this rather empty drawer here, I can show you that this is also my recommendation for your wooden stamp storage, and that's exactly what used to be in here. So these are some wooden stamps I took out the box, and they fit in here nicely, either singly, or you can double, and in the lower drawers you can also triple stack. They close nicely, and they're really sturdy. I had this absolutely full, and I could still move it on its casters. I have taken them out so that this can be full of ink pads, but I'm going to get another set to put down the hall full of all my wood mounted stamps. Then we have my Hero Art drawer, and the Hero Art cubes I put in the Tim Holtz distress tins. Again, I will link these up for you, and I just took the lids off. You don't have to, but I like to be able to just see them as soon as I get in. These are the colour families, exactly how they come in the packets, so I just put one in each row. Then we have our lawn fawn drawer. So as I'm building my lawn fawn collection, they're all going in here, and these all will get labelled with some vinyl as well. This drawer is my waffle flower, so I bought the whole set of the waffle flowers, and a few Simon Says Stamps ones here because I wanted to try them out. And finally, I have my Favourite Things drawer and my old to new inks. I need a few more of these trays. They're still on my shopping list so that I can put these packets in, and also make sure that these go into the right places. But here I have my Favourite Things, and what I do is I write the hybrid label that I print out in my P-Touch, and I also put the colour name because it's on the bottom there, and I find that a little bit difficult. Firstly, when I'm grabbing it out the drawer, and secondly, when I'm filming a video, I like to just be able to see and be able to tell you exactly what colour I'm using. So that's it for my Alex drawers. Thank you so much for joining us for the final instalment of Hedgehog Hollow Studio Tour. If you missed parts 1 and part 2, they're available on youtube.com/hedgehoghollow or on the blog at hedgehoghollow.co.uk. You can also join us daily at 11:30 Eastern Time for a Facebook Live at Hedgehog Hollow Ink, INK, on Facebook, where I give you daily tips, tricks, and next week is a week on inks. Now you've seen my desk, my 2 drawers either side, and my large drawer units either side. Everything that I need close at hand. If there's anything I've missed in the blog post, you can just leave me a comment on the video, on the post, or click the button of Contact the Hollow. If you can't find the blog post, look below this video. There's usually a little drop down arrow, and you can see in the description I'll have hyperlinked it up for you. I really hope you've enjoyed seeing behind the scenes here at Hedgehog Hollow, and we've really enjoyed showing you all the things we have to offer. So join us again soon for another video, and we'll see you then. Happy stamping. Bye.